This is TJ. In this video, I want to cover 5 free and open source real-time strategy games that you can download and start playing on Windows, Linux, and Mac. These games are 0AD, Megaglest, 7 Kingdoms, OpenRA or Open Red Alert, and Warzone 2100. The first game we'll look at is 0AD. 0AD is a game very similar to Age of Empires. You can basically gather materials, you build your central base, you can level up and learn different technologies and different skills. Here's a shot, just gathering food. You can gather food, resources, trees, different building materials, and then you ultimately build your kingdom, and you can go explore the map. You can fight against different civilizations or different cultures. And overall, the gameplay is very, very similar, like I said, to Age of Empires. So if you like Age of Empires, or if you've never played it before, but this game looks interesting to you, it's definitely a fun one to check out. The next game we'll look at is Megaglest. Megaglest is a game, has a very similar interface, you'll notice, to Warcraft 3. And the gameplay is similar to Warcraft 3 as well, but a lot of the graphics, like the game engine, just feels very much like Warcraft 3 to me. There's different, kind of different groups or factions, just like in Warcraft 3. So this is one faction here. You can build, and so the building structures and the units are going to be different between every different type of people that you're playing. You fight against each other and ultimately try to conquer the map. So again, you gather resources, just like in most real-time strategy games. You gather different resources, building materials, and gold, and try to build up different units and different structures. And advance a little bit. This is an interesting game because you actually take existing units and then train them up and advance them. So you might have a worker that then gets trained to become a warrior rather than just building a warrior from the start. So that's kind of an interesting aspect. That's not that's not how it is in Warcraft 3. That's why I bring that up. So I haven't played this game a whole lot. But this is just some of the scenes and some of the different things you can do. The next one I want to talk about is 7 Kingdoms. Now, 7 Kingdoms is an older game, and it was not originally open source, if I remember correctly. So it has a very old-looking interface. It looks like a game from like the late 90s. Kind of has like the Warcraft 2 feel, or even maybe Warcraft 1, or some of the early like StarCraft games. But basically, you fight against each other. This is similar to Civilization. It's kind of a mix between Civilization, which is a turn-based strategy game, and a real-time strategy game like Warcraft or StarCraft. So you don't necessarily gather materials. You build up your these different cities that produce different things, and then you kind of allocate your resources, including your people and your population, to what you want to have them do. But then it is real time, so it's not turn-based. You actually move around the map, you build, you can conquer, you can fight. But again, it's a little bit different. And I haven't played this one a lot either, so I don't know a whole lot about it. But I just wanted to show you some of the gameplay and introduce it to you in case it's a game that you want to download and give a try. And so even though, like from what I've read, even though it's kind of old and looks a little bit outdated, it actually is a very fun game. And you can play it and enjoy it. It doesn't have to have great graphics to be fun and entertaining and have a good strategy. The next game I want to talk about is OpenRA, and it stands for Open Red Alert. So this has Red Alert, Command and Conquer, and Dune. They're all built on the same engine. And I'm not exactly sure about this, and I'll have to do some research, but they're actually using the same audio files and some of the same graphics files, so I assume this was open sourced, because Red Alert was not originally an open source game. If you've played these games, Red Alert, Command and Conquer, then you'll notice it has, it's the same game basically, but it's rebuilt on this open source engine, is my understanding. So a lot of fun. I played a lot of Red Alert, Command and Conquer back in the day. So that was Red Alert we just saw. This is Command and Conquer. Both of these games, it's sort of like StarCraft or Warcraft, but it's in a military age. So you build up a base, you gather resources and energy, and then you build military units, both like infantry and also tanks, to fight against other people. So it's really cool. I think there's only like basically 2 different factions in both of these games. Maybe there's 3, I forget. But yeah, a lot of fun. And this is the Dune version of it. So again, they're all based on the same engine. The units are going to move similarly to each other, and everything has a similar look and feel to it. But they're kind of 3 different games, and they have different animations and different map layouts and things like that. So this is the Dune version, but a lot of really fun games. So if you're not familiar with it, or if you have played it in the past, you'll really enjoy playing OpenRA, and it comes with all 3 of them. When you download, there's a separate icon for all 3 different games: Dune, Command & Conquer, and Red Alert. The last game we'll look at is Warzone 2100, and this game is also similar to the Red Alert games, the Command & Conquer, so it's set in the future as well. Kind of has a little StarCraft feel to it, I think. But you build up your base and you build up the tanks. And kind of the interesting thing about this is you can customize your tanks when you build them. So you can give them different features if you want to have them be like workers to go and gather resources for you. Then you give them like a truck bed. If you want to have them have a certain type of gun, then you kind of customize them that way. So basically you have these tank factories that you build your tanks in. And then of course you can fight against different enemies and overtake the map. I like it because it has a very 3D feel to the map. So you see these mountains and the terrain, which is kind of cool. Something you don't see with some other real-time strategy games. You actually have a terrain that you can go over. But yeah, just kind of a fun game. Here's some of the gameplay of it. Attacking a base. And you can actually have quite a few. You can get quite a few units, and it gets pretty chaotic, really. Some of these, when you attack and fight, there's kind of a lot going on. But pretty cool overall. I hope you found this video informative. These are some really fun games, and hopefully this has kind of piqued your interest. You can decide if you want to download them and try them out for yourselves. Go ahead and check out some of my other videos about games and just open source and free software in general. And I hope to see you in the next video.